Well, hi everyone, this is Wilson and I'm back with what I think is going to be the final round of my game of Dungeon Crawler. The game would go on, but I think it's probably getting a little long in the tooth for these 15-minute snippets, and you guys have probably seen enough. There's been some good Q&A bantering about on Board Game Geek and elsewhere, so I've enjoyed this and maybe you have as well. Here's my hand. I've got a short sword that I'm going to use. Light spell. I could use Flaming Fury if I want, but I happen to have in my hand 2 cleave cards. I'm not sure I've ever had 2 cleave cards in my hand before, but what it's going to do is it's going to put a quick end to this round because I plan to play them both at once. So basically, if you may or may not recall in the last video, we have the EP07 or EP07, however you say that, with a stamina of 2 and stealth. She's got no hits on her and she's resistant to magic. And then we've got the mummy, who is normally a pretty tough guy. He certainly comes on with a strong attack, and you need to be careful. He's a 3-count character. So in any case, the 2 and the 3 is 5. We do have here the Firestream Rune Trap that has busted and would come into play in the next hand, but I don't think we're going to go there. I think we've played through enough. I've got about 26, is that right? 24, 25, 26 characters in the grave. I think it's 24, and then these 2 would make it 26. So I'm awfully close. Let me put the wound back on the mummy. That's important. I'm awfully close to fulfilling the Den of Evil, which is to get 30 characters in the grave. So that's a quest. And then if Green Knee should pop up, well, that would be, then I would be getting Evil Has a Name and a unique character. So I don't know, I think I'm close, but no matter. Here's what we're going to do. The mummy doesn't do a restock on this turn. He already has. The drain function came into effect last turn and we lost a couple of crawler cards, but we're going to, well, it doesn't really matter. Let's say the Gypsy Thief. We're going to activate the Gypsy Thief for a couple of reasons here. He's going to take the short sword because we need to overcome a stamina of 1, 2, 3, 4. So the short sword gives us a +3 melee. So I activate 1 character, and that's 3 and 1 is 4. So I can put a hit on someone, and I'm going to put a hit on the mummy. All right. So the mummy has 2 stamina, which means that the mummy is dead. However, I'm going to also play a cleave card, and cleave says that, well, boosted even, although it really doesn't matter. It says if you wound a character and send it to the grave, you may deal 1 wound of the same type to 2 different characters. Okay, so if I play cleave once and put a wound on the EP07, I'm wondering if I can play cleave twice because I've got 2 of them. So I probably can't, to be honest with you, because if I wound a character and send it to the grave, so mummy was wounded and sent to the grave, done. So I fulfilled that. And now, because the character goes to the grave right away, and now I have, it says, you know, if you wound a character and send it to, it's kind of like you can't go backwards. So I suppose in fairness, I was kind of hoping I could put 2 hits on the EP07, but I'm not going to. That might be a little low. So I probably could still take her out. She's got a normal attack, melee harm of 2. So basically I would just activate 2 players or 2 adventures and we're going to be safe. Alright, so I would reactivate everyone. She has a wound on her. Barbarian Berserker has 2 wounds. The Keldorn and Cleric has 2 wounds. I would need to draw back up. Light isn't really proven to help me much, so I'm going to discard Light, draw back up 3 cards. Moving Search is 1. Defensive Training I always like. and hide armor, which is supernatural stamina. So that's good. I've got a little bit of offense, I've got a little bit of defense, things are good. Now here's the thing, this would come into play and we'd have a dungeon stamina of 4, a dark corner would be no addition at 0, and then the recurring villain would come into play. Actually she would bust, but she will come into play. So here's the good news. My attack can only be against the EP07 because even though she has stealth, there is no other eligible character. So I can attack her and she would be dead. Then I'm going to have to deal with the Area 2 fire magic from the Firestream rune trap. And that means that the Barbarian Berserker and the Keldorn Cleric are both being attacked to the sum of 3. Yeah, I don't know. There's things I can do, but I think I was really more that I was searching to get to the end of things here. So I'm going to wrap it up. I might keep playing on my own, but in the meantime, you know, we'll just let it go with that. Okay, so what do I think about this in general? Well, it's a great game. I have to admit that I thought I would have been bored of it by now, but I am not. Even though I see a lot of the same cards, and I have purchased a couple of delve packs, so I have some variety in. I got a couple of rares, and I got a couple of new adventures and that sort of thing. So the delve packs are good. Now they're limited. There's only a few delve packs to choose from, and then there's the Mines of Kurgan, which I have. So I might do a little playthrough of the Mines of Kurgan, I guess, if people want me to, but I might do that. It throws a whole bunch of new things, spells and stuff in, which I really like. So the expansions are good, the replayability is very high. Of course, like any game, eventually you're going to get a little tired of it and you're going to put it on the shelf for a month or 2 or whatever, and then you're going to pull it back off again and you're going to get into it again, and you're going to find that you're going to say to yourself, yeah, this game is really good. There's a couple of things this game is reminiscent of. I mean, it came out before Lord of the Rings Living Card Game, but I know there's been a lot of comparisons to that. Yeah, there's some similarities. There's some crossover. But yeah, I don't know. It's just they're both a bit of a card strategy thing. And then you have stuff like I would actually almost think of this more as sort of like a mini mage night of sorts, because sometimes it takes you quite a while to think through your move and how you want to play cards and so forth. And I think one of my questions would be, in Mage Knight, you can actually, as long as you haven't revealed anything, you can actually take your moves back and then replay them. I haven't seen anything in the rules for Dungeon Crawler either way that would say you could or couldn't do that, but that would be another question. So, if I realized that my attack would have been more efficient if I'd done this, X instead of Y, can I take back my cards and retool, or is it too late? I very rarely do take my cards back and retool, but I have done it just because I've overlooked something really, kind of dumb. So that would be a question I would have, and those would be some of the comparisons I would make to other games. I did a little written review of this, and I'm not very happy with it because I kind of was dwelling on some of the production value of the cards, and that really wasn't fair. The cards are fine. What you will notice is that there's probably been different die lots used at different times for different packs, and sometimes the backs of the crawler cards look like the backs of dungeon cards because they're both so dark, or 2 crawler cards look completely different because one's really dark and one's really light, or something like that. They just look like they've come from different die lots. Sometimes it's even the front. If you find 2 cards that are the same, they can look the colors look different. But you know what? Who cares? I mean, who cares? Crawler cards are crawler cards, dungeon cards are dungeon cards, and it's not like you can remember, like, oh yeah, the Dark Corridor was like a really, it was a really light backing, so keep your eye out for that one. Like, you're just not going to do it. And if it really bugs you that much, just sleeve the things anyway. Pick black for the dungeon and, red or something for the crawler cards. So yeah, that's been written about. It seems to me kind of overmuch, and then I just added to that, which was stupid of me, but I wouldn't pay attention to it. If you're interested in this game at all, go for it. The game is inexpensive. The game is a good investment. It's quick to set up. It's quick to take down. It's if you like puzzles, then you should get this. I would love to see things like even more spells. I'd love to see more variety. I know that these guys were from Gifted Vision. They were selling these little foil packs at one point, and they sort of repackaged things a few times. I can't remember what those foil packs were called, but something like that with new spells in it or something. That would be interesting, I would think, to see that kind of thing. And also some theme stuff, but I do understand that they've got some theme dungeons online. I've been to their website, I've been to all that, but I haven't really looked at the theme dungeons, but I will, because I'd like to go through have a whole adventure in the murky swamp, or among the ruins, or against the undead, or maybe with a specific mission. I don't even know what they might be. I mean, obviously the Mines of Kurgan has its own idea, but I'd like to see more of those. Now, again, the guys from Gifted Vision say that is available, so you just need to go to the website for Gifted Vision, and there should be some options. But I mean, of course, you have to have enough quantity of cards and delve packs and such to be able to build the dungeon that they have proposed, I'm sure. So anyway, so there's that. And I would also say the quests kind of prove themselves. They're pretty hard. There's none of them that are that easy. There's one called the Damsel, which isn't too bad. That comes with the base set, but still, if luck's against you, you're going to fail it. And if you fail it, then you're probably going to have to face 2 of your, harder quests of the 3 that you've picked. So the quests aren't easy. The games that I win more often, I make it all the way through the dungeon pack. In fact, probably, 90% of the games I win, I make it through the 80 card dungeon pack before, well, I succeed at clearing out every dungeon. So that's how I tend to win the game, and by the looks of things, it's about even. My crawler pack versus my dungeon pack, it'll be awful close. I've come down to 1 card. I've lost by 1 card a couple times, and I've won by 1 card. So that's kind of fun too. But you got to settle in for it, because games can last, they can last a while. Some games you get blitzed right off the top, but that's pretty rare because, you got a lot of life points up here. The tokens themselves, they're fine. They're basically, there's writing on there. Like on there, it does say wound. It's pretty much impossible to see them, but it doesn't, who cares? I mean, you know what the wound looks like. It's a little red one, as opposed to, there's a poison token. I mean, it's obvious, right? It's obvious. So, I wouldn't complain about any of that stuff. Those are all good. And then in addition, on Board Game Geek, the guys are so good at getting back to your questions and issues, answering your, what did you do right, what did you do wrong. Some of that's evidenced in some of the comments on the video series that I've done here. So these guys are great. They care about their game. They promote their game. They're clearly excited about their game. They're behind their game. They're still behind their game. Just because it's a few years old now, doesn't mean they've dropped it and moved on to bigger and better things. They are invested, I think, in this game. I'm sure, obviously, financially, but also, it feels like just emotionally. They are invested. They haven't let go. They care about their game. So this kind of shows, and it matters to me. It may not matter to you. It matters to me. Oh, one more thing I'll say too is they've done a really neat thing. They've picked a bunch of different artists to create their world, and some of the art is pretty funky. I like it. It adds a really neat variety of things. Some people may not like it. Like they might kind of look at the thief and go, "Well, all right, okay, whose grade 3 daughter did that?" But you know what? I couldn't do that. That's actually pretty good. But there's quite a difference between, the artwork on this card and the artwork on, this card. The guy in the flame here, and like that's much more the fantasy look that you would be used to from a game like this, as opposed to that where you're kind of like, okay, all right, what's that? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. the artwork to me makes the game just ratchets it up a little bit of a notch, just to say, hey, look, they're having fun with it, but it's good. I mean, take this spell for example. I'm not sure if it picks up very well on the camera or not, but this guy's somewhat cartoony. Not as much as the thief, but yeah, a little bit. Certainly not as much as, or excuse me, more so than that. She's not cartoony really at all. So there's just the varieties of art that come with the game like that as well. So I don't know really what else I would say about it. Overall, definitely thumbs up. Should you try it? Again, yes, if you like puzzles and you want something that travels easily, sets up quickly, you know, you can fire off a game, maybe not quite over lunch break at work, but you're close if you can find a place to keep it for tomorrow's lunch break. You know, and it's inexpensive. So yeah, I would say invest in it. If you have any questions, it's worth trying. And if it doesn't work out for you, you know, 20 bucks, you know, you can't go too wrong. You can't go too wrong. So I think that's the end of it. Maybe I'll post somewhere along the line if I manage to win this or not at the end of this, you know, if there's some comments or something, and we'll see how it goes. But thanks so much for following along my little video series. I've had fun. I've learned some stuff about the game. I've learned some stuff about filming a video. I still don't think I've got a perfect format, but this isn't too bad. This isn't too bad. It's just, it's not very dynamic. I have to do this all the time to put action into things. But thanks for watching. I'll be back with more. Maybe we'll be doing Mines of Kurgan. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, cheers for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.